Hey guys, so I've heard people talk about figure out what your ideal day is. And I've done this exercise. It's cool. It tells you kind of what you're passionate about. But their kind of point is if you figure out your ideal day, it helps you kind of rearrange your life to have those kind of days more often. And it's something that I kind of struggled with because my ideal day has no routine, no schedule to it. My ideal day is wandering around, maybe in the woods, exploring new places, swimming in random beaches, making friends with animals, things of that nature, which is great. And I'm not saying you couldn't find a way to do that in your daily life, but for me, there's other things I want to accomplish as well. So something I looked at is instead of looking at my ideal day, I look at what is my ideal schedule? What would my ideal schedule look like? Because then it's taking those days, they're honestly like vacations, which it's great if we can make our daily life seem like a vacation. I'm not knocking that. But depending on who you are, you might be like, okay, so I'm literally just gallivanting and not doing anything. Versus if you look at what your ideal schedule is, it gives you something to work with. I think that's a little more concrete. So for me, I look at it, well, what's my ideal schedule? Well, my ideal schedule would be waking up, having a cup of tea while sitting under my trees and maybe having a nature meditation, eating my breakfast out there as well, going on a walk so I can just absorb more nature, more sunshine, and then getting to the gym and then doing like my stretching and then getting to work. Now, keep in mind, I also work on my own schedule, so I can make that happen if I want to. But if you know what your ideal schedule is, then you can kind of work around that. Even if you have to work like a normal job, you can still work around that a little bit. You can look and go, well, these are the things I'd really like to add into my day every day. And then you look at what your schedule is and work around that. If you have to be at work at 8 a.m. in the morning, maybe you want to wake up at 6 a.m. and spend a little bit of time doing some of these things you want to do. And then, after work, you do some of them as well. I know for me, I'm a bit of a workaholic. So once I get started on work, I kind of tunnel vision and stay focused on work, sometimes until I go to bed. I know this about myself. I work on it, but I also know to schedule my life in a certain way. So I use it as an advantage. So if I can go get a walk in, get my meditation in, get my workout in, get everything front loaded in my day, then by the time I get to my work, that's okay. If I wind up working the rest of the day, that's fine. And I still try to end my day with another meditation because the meditations for me are really important. That's where I get that quiet time. I can kind of sort through what's going on in my mind and clear things out. So it was just something I was thinking about. The idea of and I did both. I redid both the other day. My ideal day, my ideal schedule. And the trick for me is the ideal schedule is what I would do most days of the week. But that ideal day is something I keep an eye out for and try to have those as much as possible too. But if I only had my ideal day constantly, I wouldn't get all the work that I actually want to get done. I do want to do it, but ideal day is traipsing around in forests in Scotland or, dipping in water in New Zealand, something of that nature, which is very different than my ideal day of having quiet time and getting out in my local nature and getting my work done so I could be working on this nonprofit and things of that nature. So, something to think about. Look at your life. What are you doing and what would your ideal schedule be? And can you start slightly of finagling things so that your daily schedule is more of what you want that gives you peace and makes you happy? Something to think about. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.